What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market was all over the place today. We had the S&P go down 0.1%, the Dow went down 0.4%, the NASDAQ 100 went up 0.2%, and somehow, some way, the Russell went up almost 1.5% on the day. So today, we're going to break down some charts, my thoughts on the market. Of course, we're going to talk about some stocks as well, and what I'm waiting for this upcoming week that's going to be absolutely massive for the stock market. So sit back, relax, take a sip of your good old PM coffee. Make sure to go down below, get 2 stocks from Webull and $30 from M1. Those are free, and let's get right into the video. So guys, like I said, today it was a choppy day. The markets were all over the place, and you can see it for yourselves. Pre-market, we did have a nice rally on SPY from 421.50 to about 423. We got super close to those all-time highs, but we didn't hit them. All-time highs being a little bit above 423.50, so we got about 50-60 cents away. And then once the markets open, SPY ended up going from 422 all the way down to 421. Notice how we held that as support, which is a good sign considering that was a big resistance. You guys can see here on the hourly chart, 421 was big resistance a couple weeks ago, so that's a good sign we held that. And another good sign I'm seeing here is we rallied into the market close. You guys can see we, like I said, held 421, and then ever since 2 p.m., from 2 p.m. for the next 2 hours, or the last 2 hours of the session, we rallied and we ended up closing above 422, and we're actually up a little bit more in the after hour session. And look at that volume spike at the end of the day. That's pretty crazy here on SPY. So the fact that we pulled down, we held 421, and we rallied into the close, I'd say that's a win for the bulls, despite the fact that we ended up going down on the day. I think today was great for the bulls. And on the 20-day chart, I don't want to say the same things every day, guys, but at this point, we're still struggling at 423, 422, and that's what I'm seeing. That's why I have an alert at 423.50, and I'm noticing an ascending triangle here. Nothing's really changed from last time we've covered this, and I'm just waiting to see when we break 423.50, 424, which in my humble opinion, it's going to happen. The question is when. I just want to see how high we end up going. Do we break 425? Do we go 430? That's kind of what I'm looking for. So those are some quick thoughts there on SPY. QQQ is another one we track every day here on the channel, which did a lot better than SPY, technically speaking, right? I mean, it wasn't a crazy day. We went up $0.3%. It was a green day nonetheless, but still not that crazy. But a good sign I'm seeing here is we broke the high from Friday. You guys can see the high from Friday was at about 335, 336, and you can see we broke that in the last hour of the session. And power hour, guys, I'm telling you, a lot of stuff goes down power hour. If you think the last hour of the session is boring, well, you're wrong. I mean, look at this. Power hour hit, and then all of a sudden, if you guys didn't know what power hour is, it's the last hour of the market. That's kind of the nickname that everyone gives it, right? So power hour hit, and we ended up bursting out of 330. It bursted out of 330 for all the grammar Nazis out there. I don't even know how to say that word, but it doesn't matter. And we ended up going all the way to 337 after hours, and we closed above 335, 336. This is a very good sign, and in my opinion, on the hourly chart, this breakout today is setting up for a move to about 339, maybe $340, which we mentioned yesterday. That is the high point from back in the middle of February, and if that's able to break at 339, we're likely going to gun for those all-time highs at 342, and heck, who am I kidding? We might even break those highs and end up going 345, 350. That is what I'm seeing right now, and we haven't done it quite yet, but that is what I'm watching for the rest of this week. And a big piece of information is coming out this week. This is massive for the markets, guys, because we know the big I word, the infamous I word here is inflation and the CPI data. This is what we're going to be looking for, because inflation, ever since Mr. Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, ever since they've been printing money like it's going out of style, we've seen numbers like 30% of all the dollars printed were printed in 2020. I've seen 40%. I've seen 25%. I don't know what the exact number is, but it's right in that ballpark. And this is finally hitting consumer prices, whether it's lumber, whether it's steel, whether it's your grocery store everyday items. I mean, I'm sure you've seen side-by-side pictures of, let's say, you go to the store and you buy a bag of walnuts, right? Last year, the bag of walnuts, you got a bag that's 16 ounces, and the price was like $10 or something. Now the bag, you get 14 ounces and the price is higher. So they're trimming the amount that they give you and the price is up. That's inflation, right? That's inflation. So the way that the Fed battles inflation, especially if it starts getting out of control, and am I saying hyperinflation is coming? I don't know, guys. That is pretty crazy. I think hyperinflation, it has to be like 50% in a month or something, which is ridiculous. Do I think that's coming? I don't know. It could, and I'm not ruling it out, but I feel like probably not, to be honest. I don't know. And I don't want to give you guys, things. No one knows. The truth is no one knows. But what we do know is inflation's here, and the way that the Fed battles inflation is they raise interest rates. So if we see an uptick in inflation, let's say inflation data for May is worse than expected, and again, that number comes out on Thursday at 8:30 a.m. on the East Coast. If it's worse than expected, I would think the markets are going to drop in the short term, and the opposite is true. Let's say inflation is not as bad as we thought for the month of May. Let's say we get guidance or whatever that's solid for inflation. Maybe the tension dies down a little bit. Maybe the nerves start to ease about inflation and the market shoots right up. And I can tell you this, if inflation comes in not as crazy as expected, and again, we don't know what's going to happen, but let's say, hypothetically speaking, it's not as bad as we thought, the markets, in my opinion, could easily go to all-time highs. I can see QQQ above that 343 level we talked about. I can see SPY go right through 325, and that's kind of my thoughts. So inflation, these numbers are huge, and the CPI number, yes, it doesn't include a lot of things. We've covered this before on the channel. It really just takes a basket of goods. That's what it is. It doesn't include stock prices, and real estate price. It doesn't include a lot of things, but it does include a basket of goods that the average household, buys and uses. So we'll see. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. And I'm actually sweating very badly right now. And if you guys didn't know, I have this little office set up in my closet here, and there's not much air circulation. So if you see me sweating bullets right now, you know why. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. If you all are enjoying the video thus far, make sure to smash that like button. I really would appreciate that. And let's talk about some stocks now that I'm personally looking at, and we'll talk about Stitch Fix in a second, which just reported earnings, and that stock is going bananas right now. Number one here, we have FUBO, ticker symbol FUBO, and this one up 13% today, up over $3 per share. And look at what's going on. This is very bullish, guys. We ended up breaking above this point right here, $26. That was a couple of days ago. And today, we broke above the high from last week. This is very good stuff. And that high from last week, which was hit multiple days last week, 1, 2, 3 days here, that was at about $29 per share. And we obviously exploded right through that this morning. We hit 31.40, and we ended up dropping from there. And the latter half of the day, we ended up consolidating above 30, closing right about $30.50. This is very good stuff, especially because we closed above the highs from last week. That's such a good sign for the bulls here. So, in my opinion, FUBO is obviously changing, momentum. The trend is shifting here from selling off like crazy to now bulls are taking over. We broke above 26, like I said. We're seeing us moving above the moving averages. We're seeing a golden cross, all the good stuff here. And at this point, you could argue, yes, it might be a little bit overbought, but just because the RSI is overbought doesn't mean it has to pull down. Don't be surprised if we see another pop towards 34, which was the high point from back in the middle of March, before we get that cool down. I think that's very possible, especially because, like I said, we held $30.50 so nicely in the last 2 hours of the session and in the after-hour session right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up ripping higher, maybe $1, $2 higher, and then we're probably going to end up seeing a pullback. And at that point, I'd like to enter this. Maybe we get closer to the moving averages at about $26, $28. Who knows? That could be a nice dip entry, in my opinion, on FUBO. And was there a catalyst today? I don't think there was anything crazy. FUBO TV CEO David Gandler presents at Wells Fargo. Maybe that was it. Virtual media, telco day, 5G and streaming and beyond. Okay, maybe that has something to do with it. But overall, oh, look at that. Okay, that's what it is. They're trading higher because the service launched on LG smart TVs in the U.S. Boom. That's what it is. That's what's moving the stock. Probably, right? At least that's one of the big catalysts. So FUBO, FUBO is a very, very, very strong stock right now, at least as of late. And as always, guys, make sure to do your own research. Don't buy based on these videos. Don't do anything based on these videos. I'm just breaking down my watch list, how I see the charts here, and what I'm seeing for the next couple of weeks. So that's FUBO. Stitch Fix is another one which we actually called out yesterday. Shout out to anybody that did end up trading this today, making some money. That's awesome. If you did, let me know in the comments. They just reported EPS of negative 18 cents, so they lost money, but that beat the estimate of negative 27 cents estimated, and revenue came in at $535.6 million versus $510.54 million estimated. So they beat EPS, they beat revenue, and sales guidance beat estimates for the next quarter and for full year 2021. And that has set the stock on... It's on a one-way ticket to the moon, guys. Let's put it that way, because it closed at 57, up 4%, and now it's at $67 after hours. So it's up another 13% after market hours, which is just unbelievable. So like FUBO, this one's overbought. And I mean, honestly, this is way overbought, way more overbought than FUBO. So I wouldn't necessarily chase Stitch Fix right now. Sure, there could be more juice in the rally. Maybe it goes to 70, 71, which if it did, I would definitely not chase it there. But where I would consider an entry would be if it cools off to the lower 60s, maybe somehow in the high 50s. If we were to go back down to the high 50s tomorrow, some point this week, I feel like Stitch Fix could be a good dip. But overall, at this point, the bulls are absolutely taking over, and this stock is clearly, we're seeing a momentum shift from selling off from 113 to 40. Now we're seeing the pop back up. So shout out to the Stitch Fix holders out there. Upwork, UPWK, had one heck of a day as well today, up 6.5%. We called this one out a couple videos ago. It's breaking out. It has been breaking out of the downwards channel here. We're moving above the moving averages as well. And look what happened today. This is such good news for the bulls, guys. Last week, we pulled down to about $45, and that held on Thursday and on Friday. And today we launched right off those moving averages. We held them at a higher low, and we closed right under $50 at $49.30 to be exact. And that is where we were on Thursday and Friday of last week. Well, momentarily on Friday and a lot of Thursday, that is where we were. So at this point, I feel like UPWK is setting up for a breakout. We pulled back, we ripped back up, bulls bought up that dip. Now we just need to see $50 break. So I'm going to put an alert at $50 per share. If that's able to break, I'm thinking a move up to $52.50. That was the high from the middle of April. If that's able to break, we go $55, which was the high from the end of February, early March. So UPWK is setting up quite beautifully right now. And look at this. I just saw this. This is inverse head and shoulder as well. Look at this. We have the left shoulder right here. We got the head right here, and then the right shoulder is right here. So who knows? Maybe we break out of there, go to the low mid 50s. That is what I'm thinking right now here on UPWK. And we had SPCE also go crazy today. Shout out to Virgin Galactic, guys. I mean, this we called out a couple weeks ago before that flight, and I told you all $30, $35, and what do you know? That is where we are right now. Today we went up $3, up 11%, and I told you all, listen, we might be going to those highs from the middle of March, also from the beginning towards the middle of December, and that's exactly where we are right now. And at this point in time, could we break 35 and start ripping back up towards mid, high 30s, low 40s? Yes, that's very possible. But I'd be careful at this point, to be honest. SPCE had a big move, in my opinion, because of the high short interest. I don't know what it is right now, but it was pretty high last time I checked, about last week. That the short interest was crazy. So we got maybe a lot of the shorts, they got burned. I mean, they obviously got burned. They dumped out. And that short interest probably came down a little bit, or at least I think it could have. I could be wrong. I don't know. I have to double check on that. But overall, at this point, is the rally in the short term exhausted? Maybe it is. Maybe we do see a little bit of profit taking back down to the mid-20s, high 20s. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that were to happen. But just to be safe, I'm going to set an alert at $35 just in case we run right through that, and maybe we could catch a move to about $40. And that is kind of the next big gap that I'm seeing coming here on SPCE. So watch out for that. Pinterest is another one that I'm very interested in right now. It went up 4% today. It's right at my alert at $67. We're super close, but no cigar, guys. And we're right by that 180 SMA. This 180 SMA has been a sticking point on the stock for weeks at this point, and that's why I have an alert at 67, because that is right by where the 180 SMA is. So if we take 67 now, I'm thinking, truly, guys, we're going to fill the gap towards the top of the downwards channel here, which you can see that gives it some runway. I mean, if 67 breaks, we're talking a move mid-70s, high 70s, low 70s. That gives it anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12% upside. So that's Pinterest, ticker symbol PINS. FCell also went bananas today. I feel like a lot of stocks did well today, even though the markets didn't do that well today, other than the Russell. Okay, the Russell did well. Small caps did well. But the NASDAQ, not the best. I mean, it did go green, but the Dow was red, S&P was red, so the markets were rocky. But a lot of these stocks, and they're more the hype stocks, whatever you want to call them, the higher multiple, high growth stocks, a lot of them did well. FCell went up 15% today, and this is another one we called out yesterday. And if you guys missed my Sunday video, what are you doing? Every Sunday, we go over my game plan for the week, so make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos, not only the Sunday video, but any video I make, because I'm making a ton of content here on YouTube and on TikTok. Make sure to follow me on TikTok at StasSurfS, and on Instagram while you're at it at StasSurfS. Everywhere it's at StasSurfS, even on Twitter, although I'm not that active on Twitter, I'll be honest with that. But look at this, FCell, we ended up closing above 1150. This is a good sign considering 1150 was that low from the middle of March, also in the end of March, early April. So I want to see if momentum continues. And I have a feeling there's more juice left in this rally. So I'm going to put an alert at 1150. Let's put it at 1160 just to get that break above 1150, catch it above 1160 from there. So I like this one. Honestly, I do. And this reports earnings, I think, tomorrow, or actually, no, 3 days from now. So they report on Thursday. Yeah, they report on Thursday, the 10th of June here. And this could easily rally more, in my opinion. I mean, yes, we're a bit overbought here on the RSI, but if volume kicks in, good earnings, good EPS, guidance, kind of similar to what happened with Stitch Fix, if that happens with FCell, man, this could go close to the mid-teens, in my opinion, maybe to about 14, 13, 15. So watch out for this one. And another one we covered yesterday, which made a good move today, and I got to cover it again, guys, is CHWY, ticker symbol CHWY. This one up 4.4% today, and they also report earnings this week on the 10th, same day as FCell, and this is back into the range that we want to trade it in to make that good old juicy money. I mean, look at this. We broke above the 50 and the 180 SMA. We also broke above $76, closed above $76, which was support all of March through about the end of April, which is a very good sign. Now, it's pretty easy, guys. It's not easy. Nothing's easy. But, it's easy to see it. Look at this. If we end up continuing in this range, there's upside to about $80, $85, $88. I mean, look at how many times we made this move back between March, April, and to May. We did it once here, right? You can see it once there, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So I think there's upside here, and heading into earnings, I think they're going to do well. And am I going to buy and hold through earnings? No, that's not my style. But maybe I'll buy before earnings, trade it quick in and out before earnings, maybe into earnings, but hopefully they do well with EPS, revenue guidance, all that good stuff, and we get a move after earnings. That's kind of my style. I don't like gambling on options, puts, calls before earnings, or buying a bunch of shares. Trust me, I've done that before, and I'm speaking from experience. I lost a lot of money. Sure, I made some money, but I gave a lot of that money back. And now I've learned it's good to wait till after earnings, even if it means you're going to miss a move. It doesn't matter, guys, because the truth is, trading, it's more about, in my opinion, it's more about preserving capital than it is just going out and making the boldest of moves. Because, look, you can blow up your account doing that. Trust me. You can blow up your entire account going all in on this, all in on that. But if you're conservative, if you stick to your strategy, if you're safe, right? Although nothing's really safe in the stock market, but if you're strategic with your risk management and you don't take crazy, insane bets all the time, over time, it adds up. It's like building blocks. Then you look back 5 years later and you're like, holy crap, my account 6 figures. I'm making some money now. That is how this ends up going down, guys. So that is it for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you all want to see my moves, what I'm doing, you want my call outs throughout the day, that's on my Patreon, link down below. I'm also doing a morning update video for my top tier patrons every single day. And by the way, if you are a top tier patron, shout out to you. I really appreciate it. And for all the patrons, for that matter, all you guys are awesome. And you also have more access to me throughout the day on Patreon. Again, that's linked down below. Or you guys can go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon. And you could also get 2 stocks from Webull. Those are valued up to $1,600 with a $100 deposit. Simply go down below or to stocksurfest.com/Webull. And you guys can get $30 from M1 Finance, also with a $100 deposit. That's linked down below. Or you can go to stocksurfest.com/M1 Finance. So I'll see you all later. Thanks for tuning in again, as always. And oh, by the way, check out my video from earlier. I go over 5 other stocks that I didn't cover today in this video. So go check that out. I'll link it down below as well. Pop it up right here. Click that. I'll see you there. Thanks for tuning in again, as always. Keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.